What's up guys, welcome to another speed build. For today's video we are doing something a little bit different than we normally do, and I am doing a renovation. It's part of like a mini renovation series that I'm doing. It's not official yet, but I mean this is the second renovation I've done in a couple of weeks, so I guess, you know, it's now or never. I guess I'm starting a renovation series, and this is episode 2. And for this episode we are in Willowcreek once again. And I'm renovating the museum here in Willowcreek, and it's called Municipal Muses or something like that. But yeah, it's just the museum that definitely was in desperate need of a makeover. The original looked so sad, didn't it? I mean, honestly, the touches I have done so far has made it look so much better in just 1 minute. It's crazy. It just needed a few extra details, that's it. But as you can tell, this video is more than just a minute long, and so I get very deep into the detail. And the side over there, it stays a garden area, but I transform it from a sad garden to a beautiful garden. And there's flowers everywhere, there's fountains, there's a pond. It ends up looking so good. And I'm so excited for you guys to see the finished outcome. Of course, if you do find this video enjoyable in any way, then please leave a like on this video so that I know you're enjoying these renovation builds just like I am, and also subscribe to my channel if you have not already, which leads me to my next point. I just wanted to take a second to welcome all of my new subscribers that I gained over the last week. Welcome you guys. I am so happy that you guys decided to join me, and I am so excited for you to see not only this build, but all of my future builds. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much, and thank you to all of my previous subscribers as well. I appreciate each and every one of you guys so much, and it's so fun interacting with you guys down in the comments below. So now that we have had that discussion, let's go ahead and get into today's build a little bit more. As we discussed, this is the museum over in Willowcreek. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned, but this is only base game. I mean, I feel like that was, you know, obvious, but then again, it might not be obvious. So I figured I would state the obvious for you guys and tell you that this is only base game only. If I am doing any renovation of any of the base game builds or really any of the packs, then I am going to use only the items that come with that pack, if that makes sense. So if it's base game, it's only going to be base game. If I renovate something, let's say in Tartosa, it's only going to be using the Wedding Stories pack. So that sort of thing is kind of what I'm going for. I'm not necessarily trying to stick with the same amount of money. I know some simmers do that, and it sounds like a good challenge, don't get me wrong, but I've got to start somewhere. And I do really enjoy detailed builds, and so yeah, money is not an issue here with this museum. So I don't remember what the original amount was, and I don't remember what the amount ends up being, but I do know that there's literally stuff everywhere, a lot more stuff than what they originally had. So it's probably maybe twice the amount, if not a little bit less than twice the amount, but we don't have to spend our hard-earned simoleons on this museum, so we're fine. We just come here for free. We don't have to spend money. But if you do have the new expansion pack, businesses and hobbies, then you could totally like own this yourself and then charge people to come in, and maybe even charge them per hour. That actually sounds really fun. Like, this expansion pack is so fun to take other Sims simoleons. Like, I'm not even joking. I love that. But anyways, if you do only have base game, then, you know, you don't have to spend any money. You can't charge people money, but then you can't spend money either. So it's a win-win, maybe win-lose, depending on the situation you're looking at it from. But at least you don't have to pay money to come in here. But anyways, yeah, I'm kind of renovating the back right now. As far as the interior goes, as you can see, I did put an additional, like, rectangle side on the side of the building, and I just felt like it was missing something over there. Like, the original one didn't have anything over there. It was literally just like a box placed there. And while I'm on the subject of the original, I'm sure you guys know what the inside of this one looked like. Like, how sad did the inside of this one look? Like, there was literally stuff just placed randomly, like artwork placed randomly on the walls, barely anywhere to sit. I mean, it had no rhyme or reason. I can't stand the way that this original one looked. I think it looked so just, did you even try? You know, that's my question. I feel like they probably didn't, but that gives me something to do. I now can renovate the Sims team's horrible builds. It is what it is. They're horrible, I'm sorry. Not all of them, some of them are decent, but this one was just straight up bad. I'm sorry, it was. But anyways, yeah, I did put a separate addition onto this building, and what I ended up doing in that separate addition, I didn't really know because the original one did have enough space to put different items that the museum needed, but it just needed that extra space. So what I ended up doing was putting like a little like classroom area for like painting class. And if you don't have the new expansion pack, then it's technically not functional, but then it technically is. Like, you can just have your Sims go there and practice their painting skill. Like, maybe you're playing Rags to Riches and you don't have enough money to buy an easel or anything like that, then you can come here and use their easels for free. And then I also put like tables in there, trying to make it look like a classroom setup without it exactly being a classroom. But yeah, I think it turned out looking pretty good in the end. And then I also kept this fence around the whole building. I kind of enjoyed the way that the fence was shaped. I felt like that was the most detail they did in this entire build. So, I mean, I guess beggars cannot be choosers. We have a little bit of detail here. There's some, you know, little interesting shapes going on with the fence here. So I decided to keep that because, yeah, like I said, I do enjoy the way that that looks. And I also enjoy the way that the original fence looked. So I almost changed it from the brick to the white, like basic concrete fence. But the brick fence added an extra detail that was definitely needed. Currently, right now, I'm trying to figure out how I want the pathing to go from the front over to the back, and I also added some extra pathing to the side to lead you to the side area. And the type of pathing that I decided to, well, I would say go with, but I stuck with the exact brick pathing that they had, or paving. I'm saying pathing. I think it's paving. The brick paving that they originally had here. I decided to keep it because I thought it looked really good with the museum and the other colors that we have going on here. It's almost like a red, white, and blue vibe, which, you know, isn't what I'm going for, but at the same time, I think those colors go so good together. And since, I mean, I really wanted it to look like the original. I didn't want to change it too much, you know? Then it's like, what's the point of a renovation? A renovation, you're supposed to keep it looking pretty much the same, just with more details added in a way. So yeah, I decided to stick with the brick paving that we have going on here, and I was so happy to see that they have this brick paving also in terrain paint, and it's not just like flooring, and that is always a good thing. Like, I cannot stand when they have a certain like concrete paving, brick paving, whatever it is, but they don't have a matching terrain paint. That sucks so bad because sometimes you need, you know, a curved pathway like what I have here. And it's hard to mimic that with the actual pavement than it is with terrain paint, if that makes sense. Like, the terrain paint makes it look a lot better and it's easier to achieve also. So yeah, I was happy to see that they have the terrain paving that matches perfectly to the brick regular paving. Hopefully that made sense. But anyways, yeah, so I have a little part that's going from the front to the side as well as the front to the back. Now that paving does change drastically, but I just needed to place something there as like a placeholder so I knew the type of vibe I was going for. Yeah, so be prepared. There's actually not much grass in that area left over, if any at all. Like, I cover it all up with pavement and landscaping, and it almost in the end looks like a little bit of a maze, and it looks so pretty. I also put a gazebo out there right by the pond as well, and then I put a little table on there. I did not put a wedding arch or anything, but if you wanted to, you know, get married at the museum. You totally could put like a wedding arch under the gazebo, and I think that would make some really, really good pictures. But we will talk more about the garden and the gazebo once we get over there. I do wait until the end to do the garden just to make sure I don't need to add any more to the actual building. But for right now, we are working on the floor plan, and I did cut some of it out because I had, you know, a little bit of a hard time figuring out the floor plan. This is the very first museum I have ever done, so it was pretty interesting trying to, you know, figure out how I want to lay it out. And I knew certain things that I wanted. As you can see, I kind of have like a middle section cut out on the bottom level. Well, not really cut out on the bottom level, but you'll see what I do there. And then on the second level, I have that area cut out. And then on the third level, it's kind of like a fake story, like a fake floor of the build, but I do have that cut out so that you can see the roof. So it almost is like from the bottom story, you can see all the way up through the ceiling. And then you can see like the sky and outside because I have a glass roof up there. It actually turns out really, really cool. Now you're not going to see that very much when you're playing because I mean, you'll have to get down at sim level and then look up and like, we don't do that while we're playing. But you guys get the point and you guys know it's there. You know that your Sims can look up and see the stars at night. Okay, that's kind of the vibe I was going for. And I also really wanted this like grand entryway, and I have a certain piece, like a certain sculpture that I have in the center of this roped off area, and I figured that was like their most prized possession. Like that's their most prized piece of sculpture. That's like what everyone wants to come and see. And I tried to pick the one, like the sculpture that looked like it would be like the best, so to speak, or maybe like the most treasured because it's maybe the oldest or something. So I chose Princess Cordelia's bust. I feel like that could be an old princess from way back in the day that maybe founded Willowcreek, maybe. This is just, you know, speculation. And this is a bust that a sculptist made of her back in the first Sim ages, and it has been a prized possession ever since. And here in Willowcreek Museum is where they have it, and everyone wants to see Princess Cordelia's bust at least once in their life. And so here it is. It's right there in the front. You don't even have to go upstairs. You don't have to go through anything else. It's right there for you. And then I have like the stairs surrounding it. I've done that previously in a build. I can't remember which one, but I love the way that looks. I think it looks so pretty. And then I have like another picture with like a side table under it right behind the bust. I just needed something back there. So your Sims cannot walk all the way around, but they can see it in the front and then they can see it from the sides too. And technically they can even see it from the second story if they're looking down. I really like that thought. I like that aspect that the Sims can look down from the second story and see the bottom story. Like, I love that for some reason. But as far as the rest of the layout goes, so you first enter and you see Princess Cordelia's bust. You see the main entry room right there. And then to the left is where like the first room is, where it's holding all of the paintings and other sculptures. And I have that area roped off with, right now it looks how it looks, but it does not stay like that whatsoever. I realized having that part on a platform in the center didn't make a whole lot of sense. It kind of made it hard to maneuver, you know? The point of the ropes is to rope off like the art pieces, and with the way that I have the platform, it's not really roping anything off. It just has ropes there. And so I end up taking away the platform and I rearrange that room a little bit. And something else I end up doing, I do change from the dark wood to a light wood. I thought the light wood looked a lot better. But as you can see upstairs, where you can overlook the balcony and see Princess Cordelia's bust, I have two doors leading to the front and the back balcony. And then in front of those doors, I have a little roped off area with tile. Like, you'll notice where I'm roping areas off, I am placing tile. I just thought of that. Like, there's no reason that I'm doing that other than I really enjoy the way it looks, and it looks like it's a special area, right? Like, that is special, expensive tile that no one's allowed to walk on, and it's the only purpose it serves is to hold a sculpture or to be under a picture frame. That's it. That's how special of a tile it is. But yeah, anyways, so this room right here is the first room, like I was saying. And then there's a hallway, and on the other side is where the bathrooms are, and it is where the painting classroom is. And then upstairs, we have two sides that holds pieces of like artwork. And it's going to be almost exactly like you see this room right here, that side room with that picture of the married women right there. Yes, the two rooms upstairs are going to look very, very similar. The only bathrooms we have in this whole build is on the bottom story, far off to the right. I feel like there's two bathrooms there, there's two toilets. I think that's more than enough. I've come to realize if I put too many bathrooms, like half of them don't get used. So there's really no reason to have more than two. Now there's only one toilet in each bathroom, so keep that in mind. But like I said, these Sims don't, go to the bathroom that much. I feel like I rarely see townies going to the bathroom. Now they do, but I feel like it's always my Sim about to pee their pants. So I mean, two bathrooms is enough, right? If not, you could totally add more upstairs, or you can add a bathroom outside somewhere if you can find space. Because like I said, there's plants everywhere, so you might not have any space to put a bathroom out there, but you could delete some stuff and put a bathroom out there. But yeah, I kind of figured just two bathrooms, I feel like that's enough. Who's going to spend all day at a museum anyways? Like, you come here, you look at art, and then you leave. That's it. But yeah, so now I'm starting to place the pieces of art that I know I'm going to want in this room. So I have two sculptures, both on the back wall and the front wall. And then I have artwork on both the side walls. And like I said, this layout of this room does change kind of drastically in a way. And you'll see that a little bit later once I change like the flooring and once I realize that the fencing that I have right in front of these paintings are in fact on the platform and not in front of the paintings. So I got to thinking, like, it's not roped off, like that doesn't make any sense. Sims can go into that roped area and touch the paintings, and that's kind of the whole point of having a roped area, so that they cannot do that. So I do change that, so stay tuned for that. And here's the area right by the bathrooms and the painting classroom. I end up putting paintings on the walls over here as well, just because, I mean, what else do you put on the walls? I really had no other idea other than putting more paintings here. And then I do put paintings above these two chairs here, but they're not roped off. Like, I figured those are like cheap paintings. Maybe I do a mirror, but I feel like they're paintings. And I try to do like cheap looking paintings, so it kind of makes sense as to why they're not roped off. I do not have the paintings there that I'm going to end up using, just because I went back and forth on what to put above those extra love seats right there. So we'll be back a little bit later. If you are a returning viewer of mine, you know how bad I am about going back and forth from one area to another, and this build is no different. Like, I did a lot of jumping around for this build just because, this is the first museum I've done, and yeah, with just the base game, it was a little bit of a challenge, but I had a lot of fun. We are now over into the art classroom, and like I said, the flooring does end up changing, which means all of the furniture colors in here ends up changing as well. I felt like it was just a little bit too dark. I used to really be a big fan of dark wood, but here recently, I'm really liking light wood a lot better. I don't know really why. I just think it brightens up an area a lot better than dark wood does. I mean, obviously, but you guys know what I mean. And right now I have it pretty dark in here, but it gets a lot lighter. I just thought I wanted it to be kind of dark at first, and then like the paintings was lit up, but it was a little bit too dark. So I do place a lot more lights everywhere. But yeah, for now I'm just trying to get the layout of the art studio, which the layout that we have there is pretty much how the layout's gonna be. I have the teacher's easel up on like a platform, and then the students' easels there in front of the platform, and all of that is playable, by the way. Like, your Sim's actually able to get up on the platform if they're the teacher, and then if they're the student, they're able to actually use the easels down there. And then obviously they can also sit at the table and study for painting. And yeah, I mean, it turns out being a pretty cute area. And then on the walls in that art studio classroom area, I do put a lot of like random artwork, just thinking that that is different examples of artwork that the teacher teaches their students. I thought it was kind of realistic, kind of a good idea. Right now we are over into the bathrooms, and I do in fact have 2 sinks in here, but only 1 toilet. So yeah, you know, that might not make a whole lot of sense, but sometimes people need to wash their hands without going to the bathroom. So it is what it is. The 2 sinks just looked a lot better than having just 1 sink there. I thought the 1 sink just kind of looked a little bit sad. And so I did do the 2 sinks, and both bathrooms are exactly the same, as you can see. Like, toilet, 2 sinks, put a rug in there, put, you know, some lights in there, and then we pretty much called it a day. Oh, and then we put that big mirror behind the sinks as well. Yeah, so I mean, this is pretty much it for the bathrooms. And those mirrors that you've seen, I ended up changing to different mirrors, but they're still like really big mirrors. You guys can see them over there. We are now changing the flooring. I think this was after that recent base game update that we had before Businesses and Hobbies came out, because that flooring I've never seen in my life until I looked in the catalog and came across it while I was building this. I was like, where did this flooring come from? This was recently added, wasn't it? Maybe it was part of that quest, the Back to the Past quest, or whatever that's called. Back, you know, the one that, you know, had the blue-haired guy, the recent one. I think that flooring was part of that quest. Maybe. It's new though. Moral of the story is that it's new and I've never used it before, and I thought it looked really, really good in this build. Like, the way that it's all like squared, it gives it like a lot of detail, which honestly I really appreciate, because there's a lot of like open floor area in this build, and so adding this flooring that has that detail made it a lot better, other than just straight wood, like literally straight wood. That doesn't really give a lot of detail, so you can tell if there's an area that has like a really big open surface area with nothing there, no furniture, no artwork, no nothing. And so it's kind of just blank and kind of sad looking. And so if you have flooring like this that has detail in it like this, then that big surface area that has nothing won't look so bad. And so I was really happy when I came across this floor. Like, I think it looks so, so good. And as you can see, I'm trying to finesse, if that's the word. I'm trying to organize and play around with that platform there to see exactly how I want to do like the middle area of where this like sculpture art room work room is. Gosh, my words are not wording today. Yeah, I'm trying to just rearrange this room to get it how I want it. And I thought I changed the ottomans. We'll have to find out together, because like I said, or I don't know if I did tell you guys this, but I actually renovated this before the new pack came out. And so I've been kind of sitting on it for a while, so I can't 100% remember exactly what I did when I did it. So we're kind of figuring it out together. But yeah, I do know for a fact those 2 side tables that I have next to that artwork, I do remove that, and I remove the fencing, and it opens it up a little bit more. And then the middle does stay how it is, but I thought I changed the ottomans, but maybe I didn't. But yeah, anyways, as you can see, I updated the flooring from the dark wood to the light wood, and how much better does this look? Doesn't it brighten it up and make it look so much bigger than it looked before? Like the brown wood looked so sad to me. I don't know what it was, but it just looked really sad, and this light wood livens it up so much more, and I'm really happy that I changed it from brown or like dark to light. It looks so much better. Oh, and here are the cheap paintings I put here. I knew I put paintings here. And yeah, I just did like cheap looking architect drawings that, you know, is not important to the museum whatsoever. So they don't have it roped off. They have it above sofas. So if they get messed up, you know, not a big deal. But currently going through the downstairs, and I am updating all of the swatches of all of the furniture. And that can be kind of tedious, but at the end, it's really worth it. Like if you're sure you want to change the colors from like dark to light in this instance, then it's definitely worth it. Like look at how much better this looks. But yeah, I am finishing the art room now. And over here I have like a little table, and I put some fruit on there. I figured that's fake fruit because it would go bad way too fast if it was real fruit, but it's fake fruit with like a bouquet of flowers. And on the other side I have a naked gardening gnome. And I figured those are two like sculptures that the teacher teaches the students how to paint or how to draw these two sculptures. And then over here I'm adding like random artwork on the walls that are previous examples or maybe just other examples. And I came across this like artwork painting holder rack, and I thought, how perfect is that? Like that has to go in here somewhere. And so I placed it here behind like the tables and chairs. And you can still sit in those tables there, by the way. But honestly, even if you couldn't, is it really that big of a deal? Because when are you going to just be sitting down reading? Probably not ever, unless you really just want to read that like painting book. Like I put a level 1 painting book, I put a level 2 painting book, and I put a level 3 painting book. One of those I put 2 of because there's 4 chairs there. But yeah, you guys get the point. I figured if you are really low on your painting skill, then you could sit there and level up your painting skill by reading before you jump up on the easel. But yeah, I just really wanted to make it look like a legit painting classroom, like a painting skill classroom. And at the end of the day, I think I did a pretty good job. The only thing that I wish I would have added was more like clay pieces, where like the little clumps of clay. I could have put that on the table, but I've come to realize that if you have lumps of clay in your house, all the Sims go straight to that lump of clay and they play with it like for hours, and then you'll just have lumps of clay laying everywhere in your build. So, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's not too upsetting that I didn't add those lumps of clay because that gets aggravating, doesn't it? It's almost like that one bug that I think they fixed, but it's where like you would invite people over to your house and let's say you had a grill in your backyard, because I mean, honestly, who doesn't? At least in The Sims, who doesn't? I always place grills in my backyard. But yeah, there was a certain bug where everyone that came over to your house, they would go straight to your grill and make like herbalism things. Like they would make like mosquito repellent or whatever it is. If you had like the outdoor retreat pack where you could do the herbalism skill, they'd go out and cook up some mosquito repellent on your grill, and there would be like hundreds of mosquito repellent there by their feet right by the grill. Like that was so aggravating. I am so glad that they fixed it. At least I think they fixed it. I don't remember seeing it here recently, but like I always say, I don't play the actual gameplay very much. I mainly just build, but I do play the gameplay sometimes, and it's been a long time since I've seen random Sims grill up some mosquito repellent. So yeah, I feel like they fixed it. If not, then they need to get to it, because that is so aggravating. And the next thing they can fix is the lump of clay incident. You know, I don't want all of my Sims going to that lump of clay in my child's room and just play with it for hours. And then there's just random play everywhere. Yeah, you guys know what I mean. I'm sure you do. It's so aggravating. So yeah, I mean, like I was saying, it's not really that bad that I forgot to put lumps of clay in here. But we are upstairs now. I have the art studio finished, and we are now working on the 2 other art room, sculpture rooms upstairs. And here I am placing some of those metal knight outfits, I think is technically what they're supposed to be. They're holding like a sword and stuff. I thought that area that was arched, that arch area with the fencing in the arch where you could overlook the balcony, I thought that was perfect to put those silver knights, because you can kind of see them when you're walking up the stairs and you're like, ooh, what's that? I want to go look at that. And then you go in the rooms and it's these scary knight looking things. And then I place these little saucer lights that are they go on the bottom of where the floor is, and it kind of shoots the lights up, and it lights up those sculptures really, really well. And I'm really happy with the way that those turned out. And other than those sculptures, I'm also placing other tabletop sculptures and other paintings all around that room area. I'm just trying to make sure it's nice and filled up. I already have all of the requirements set. I thought the requirements were going to be really hard to achieve, but really, let me tell you, it was not at all. I achieved it within the first 30 minutes of me building, I think. But as far as the sculptures and the paintings go, I did make sure that I didn't do the same one more than once, other than the knight sculptures, okay? We have several of those. We have 3 in each of these rooms upstairs, and then we have 2 additional ones downstairs before you exit out of the back door. But I did make a lot of effort not to do the exact same painting or the exact same sculpture more than once, other than the knights. And that was harder than I thought. There's not a whole lot of base game sculptures, at least not enough to fill up this museum I really needed. But at the end of the day, we did achieve it, and yeah, so that was pretty interesting. I do have a freeze ray, a sim ray in here, as well as an antique typewriter. I have a ballerina sculpture that's, doing a twirl or something. And yeah, I mean, and then we have a llama sculpture, because this is The Sims, so we need llamas in here in The Sims. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, that is the inside. We don't do anything else inside. The inside's completely done now. It only took, 30 minutes, and that was it being sped up pretty drastically. So it took me some time to do this museum here in real life, but it was definitely worth it, and I had a lot of fun doing it as well. And I really had a lot of fun doing this garden out here as well. So like I was saying, it does have a gazebo over there by the pond, and I thought the gazebo turned out so cute, especially once I add all of the landscaping. And as far as the landscaping goes, I did a lot of hydrangeas everywhere, and I did these blue hydrangeas. I absolutely love those hydrangeas in The Sims and in real life. I have a new profound love for hydrangeas, by the way. I did mention this in a build I did a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month ago at this point, but my fiance did give me a bouquet of flowers for Valentine's Day, and it was the first bouquet of flowers I've ever received that had legit hydrangeas in there, and they were white hydrangeas. And I didn't realize how pretty hydrangeas really are in real life. Like, they're pretty in The Sims too, but man, they are like so pretty in real life. Like, they're gorgeous in real life. I love them. And so yeah, I almost feel like they're my new favorite flower. I don't know if I want to go that far yet, but they are definitely one of my favorite flowers. Like, they're so pretty. And I love how like big and bulky and bushy that they are. And here in The Sims, they're very, very useful because they take up a lot of space, especially if you size them up. But I don't love to do that because it looks kind of unrealistic when you size up a hydrangea plant. And so, yeah, I keep them as the normal size, but I will size them down. Sizing them down just looks a lot better than sizing them up for some reason. Just when you size them up from the regular size, it jumps up like hugely. Like the size difference between sizing it up from sizing it down is like really drastic. I wish that when you sized up a hydrangea plant, it maybe made it twice as big, but no, it makes it like 4 times the size. Like it's crazy. But yeah, so I ended up just keeping the hydrangeas as the normal size and then sizing some of them down. And other than hydrangeas, I use a lot of like those fern plants I use a lot of, these hedgerow bushes I use a lot of. I use some of those like bushy white flowers. I don't remember what those are called, but you guys will see here in a little bit what flowers I'm talking about. But right now I'm kind of creating that maze that I was talking about. And I put a fountain in the middle of that maze. Now that is a debug fountain, so you can't use it, but there is a functional fountain on the other side where like that back tree is, not the Willowcreek, not the weeping willow tree, but the other tree next to it on the left side. I do put another fountain over there and you can actually toss a coin in there. I have it surrounded by bushes, but you still can toss a coin, so that was pretty interesting. The only thing is that my sim actually went into the pond to be able to toss the coin, so that was kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, at least you can still toss the coin. But we have the pond pretty much how I want it, and I absolutely love that pond swatch, by the way. Like, it is so pretty and so detailed, and I love the different color leaves that are going on in that pond. Like, that's probably my favorite swatch of the pond swatches. Like, not even joking, it's so pretty. I like some of the other ones too, but that one, yeah, that one's really good. And then on the gazebo, I just have some tables and chairs, like nothing too crazy. I was going to do a chess table, but I ended up putting a chess table over on the balconies instead. And yeah, I don't think I did that yet, so I think we still have the balconies to furnish unless I cut that part out. But just in case I cut it out, I'll let you guys know what I put on the balcony in the back patio. I put a couple of telescopes up on the top balcony. That's really all that is up there. I guess I could have put more tables up on the back balcony, but I didn't. So if you download this and you feel like my balcony is a little bit too bare, because you know it is, then totally I would suggest adding either more chess tables or add some tables and chairs up there. However, I did add some chess tables down on like the bottom where the actual patio is. And then I have a lot of tables and chairs, like the umbrella tables and chairs, out on the back like patio as well as the front area. I put some tables and chairs out there as well. But right now I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I want to lay out the landscaping here in the side where the garden is. When I first started this part, I did not think I was going to do like a lot of landscaping, but it definitely turned into a lot. Like it's crazy. But it does run really smoothly despite all of the landscaping. Hopefully you guys that have like lower end computers are able to download this as well. I'm pretty sure you can, especially since it's just the base game. But I would like to apologize in advance if you guys do download this and it's kind of slow running because of all the plants. But yeah, when I was playtesting, it ran beautifully. So hopefully you guys have the same experience if you download this. And on the subject of downloading this, if you are interested in downloading this and playing in this, it is available on my gallery, and my gallery ID is just like my YouTube name. the clumsy simmer, there's no spaces or anything like that. And I have a lot of stuff on there. I have even a lot of builds and sims that I posted before I started my YouTube channel. I have like 5 to 7 years worth of stuff on my gallery. So definitely go check it out. Check out my whole gallery, even, you know, my older stuff that I don't have posted here on YouTube. You guys won't regret it. I have a lot of stuff on there. But yeah, so I'm just continuing to lay out the landscaping. As you can see, my strategy of laying this out is just having these like viney plants and they have the white flowers everywhere. I'm just kind of outlining where I know I'm going to want to put the real landscaping, like the hydrangeas and the other flower bushes and the palm frond plants, all of those. Yeah, I just needed to outline it because it was such a big space, and I'm glad that I did because it made it easier at the end of the day. And I am now finally placing the blue hydrangeas. I was kind of doing this blindly in a way, not really blindly, I guess, but I was just placing them randomly. I was like, okay, this looks like it could use some color. This definitely needs some color, and this needs some flowers over here. And yeah, so I'm just kind of placing these blue flowers randomly. And then I go back, and once I place other landscaping, I will then move these hydrangeas as needed. And one or a couple other things to note, I do have like these community lot lights out in front of the whole property, and these were actually there on the original version, and I really enjoyed the way that they looked, so I wanted to keep them on my renovation as well. And then yeah, I have like random seating throughout the garden, or at least this one bench. That's about it. And then all of the tables and chairs out back and front as well. And I did not add a grill. I mean, I guess I could have, but I didn't really think it made any sense. But there are so many tables and chairs, maybe I should have. But yeah, I mean, that's something that you guys could always add if you want it. And then as far as the pond goes, I did actually add some fountains in there, and I added a little alligator in there, and I think the pond turns out so cute, especially as you're playing and the fountains are actually running. I think it turned out so good. But yeah, I mean, this whole place turned out so good. I'm really happy with the way that this museum turned out, and the garden is so cute, like I was saying. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the build, guys. I went through everything that I needed to go through. I will spare you guys from listening to any more of my rambling, and I will leave you guys to enjoy the rest of the video on your own. There's only about 5 minutes left, and it really just consists of me doing the rest of the landscaping, so there's not much more to say about it. I just want to say thank you guys once again for staying tuned to this video and coming back to watch more of my videos, watching my past videos, all of that good stuff. I appreciate you guys so much more than you guys would ever know. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. That will let me know that you are enjoying these renovations. And subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Also, comment down below what your favorite part of today's build is, and maybe even comment down below what you would like to see different next time. I hope you all have an amazing day or night wherever you are, and I will see you all in the next one very soon. Bye guys!